Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you've been having a good past week. I just wanted to quickly thank you so much for your lovely comments on my last video. It was honestly such a surprise to me. I just didn't really expect it. Thank you so much to everybody who commented and messaged me personally. That was so lovely. This video is based around learning how to be proud of yourself and sort of giving yourself some credit and being positive about yourself. But funnily enough, I had a moment of self-hatred just before turning on the camera before this light fell over, and then it took down this tripod because I really need a good sturdy one, and it took it down very easily, which had the camera on top, which fell and dragged down my mirror with it. And when I picked up the camera, the lens looked cracked, which honestly broke my heart because this lens is not cheap. So the relief I felt when I realized it was just the neutral density filter and that's worth like $10 was the best feeling. But now I've got to pick up a new one, which is just sort of inconvenient. I'm back into a more positive state now in time to film this video. I actually planned on filming this video a few weeks ago, just after we finished filming the short film Tooth and Nail, because it was so relevant. One of you guys tweeted me, I'll show the tweet right here, and reminded me that I had it as an idea and you were really interested in seeing me talk about it. Learning to be proud of yourself is something that takes so many years. It's something I have always really struggled with, and I think most people in my life are probably about the same as me. Throughout high school, I was so tough on myself. I wasn't very good in high school. My marks were really average, which is fine because now I see it as average, normal, standard. But back then I saw it as not good enough and bad and awful and a failure. And it's really interesting how when you get into that mindset, it can take years to try to push it out of you. In terms of schoolwork, oh my God, it is so hard to feel proud of yourself. I think because in high school, you're in an environment where you're naturally kind of forced to compete against each other. Mainly when you're in the final years, the teachers actually say to you, like, you're competing against each other to go up in the rank, and that is such a bad thing for mental health. Obviously, like everyone else, I had classes I was better at though. Mine personally were media and studio art, the more creative ones. Looking back, I am so proud of how I did in those because I was really not that motivated in high school. So the fact that I got like full marks or near full marks on all of my folios is like mind-blowing to me. I feel so proud of myself for that, but I feel like back then I didn't even give myself much credit for it. I feel like I got to a certain point of feeling proud about it and then I just felt ashamed of feeling proud, or I just sort of skipped that stage altogether and was just like, I'm doing what's expected. And I sort of skipped that self-praise, which is really important for your self-esteem and your confidence. I was talking to my friend Dylan about this recently, and in a way it's almost an Australian thing to be like self-deprecating and not feeling proud of yourself. And I remember when he first said this to me, I was like, how is that Australian? But then I thought back to all the YouTubers I watch who are American or European, and I was like, wow, they are really openly excited and confident about all the things they're doing. And I think that's awesome. And I think it should be something that's pushed a little bit more. Obviously there is a point you could reach where you just end up being obnoxious, but I feel like most people could never reach that because they are so far down with the amount of confidence they have. For those of you who aren't in Australia, we have something in the last years of our school called VCE, which is basically a whole bunch of exams and tests and studying, which then leads to an overall mark. Mine personally was pretty damn bad, and it really did impact my self-esteem for a while, even though I got into my course. It's so weird. I was already at JMC, fully like enrolled, but it's still just messed with me. And without realizing, I feel like things like that holding you back can actually not allow you to feel proud of yourself when good things happen. I feel like you can feel good for a second, but then you're reminded of like the flaws or the bad parts about yourself, and then you just return back into that like self-deprecating state, which is not healthy for you in the long term at all. I feel like personally uni did help me with this sort of thing, but it took a lot of time. At the very beginning, I had so much self-doubt, so little faith in anything working out, and I think it definitely led to me not doing as well. I remember I would often be too afraid to like take opportunities because I didn't think I was up to that standard, or if I did have the opportunities, I would barely help or barely ask questions because I just thought, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Like, I don't know how to do anything. That was just the mindset I had at the time. And at the beginning of last year, I started to gain a little bit of confidence because I was just getting a lot of experience at that stage. I was often doing assistant jobs and I felt like I was learning. I didn't feel like I was necessarily improving at what I was doing, but I knew that I had more knowledge than I did at the very beginning of the course. But only this year did I actually start thinking positively about the things I was doing and giving myself a little bit of credit. And the feeling it gives you is incredible. Even just giving yourself credit for one thing and feeling proud about one thing, it actually makes you wake up every day slightly happier. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's just something I noticed. I feel like as soon as I filmed something and thought, oh wow, I couldn't do this a year ago, it just gave me more confidence in general. And then I would go into things like, okay, let's see what else I can do. If you are really struggling to be proud of yourself, it's something you actively have to try to fight and actively try to put positive thoughts into your head. Even if it feels like you're lying to yourself at the very beginning, if you just try to remind yourself to seek positives in the things you are doing and try to praise yourself, it will train your mind to think that way. And this is a technique I definitely learned when I used to go to a psychologist. Just actively trying to seek positive things and listing them in your brain or literally writing them down does help you. So for example, every night you could just write down 3 things. It could be tiny things. If you're really struggling at this point in your life, it could be as simple as I had a shower, or I ate 3 meals today, or I spoke to someone about how I was feeling. It doesn't have to be major things. Just little praises here and there are so important for your mental health. If you have done something that is a big deal, you could write a paragraph about like exactly what made you feel proud, and it's something you could read back on and it could get you back into that headspace. I feel like that's a really good technique that has helped me in the past, and I feel like I need to add that back into my life just to improve my mind further. I feel like you can always work on improving the positivity you have in your mind because it's like a never-ending battle trying to keep it that way. Often our mind switches into this bad thinking pattern where as soon as we praise ourselves, we're like, why should I feel good about this? There's someone else who's doing something better. If you feel anywhere good on the spectrum, doesn't matter where you are, or anywhere bad, it's important and it's a valid feeling and it's really healthy to feel that way. And if it's a positive thing, it should be pushed even further. So if you feel proud about yourself for something even tiny, keep feeling proud about yourself for that because you should. When I'm around positive people who might not necessarily brag about how well they're doing, but you can just tell they're happy about how their life is going, it really has such an effect on you. I feel like if you're in a really bad headspace, that could make you feel jealous of what they're feeling. But if you can change that jealousy into trying to think the same way as them, because obviously it makes them very happy, then that can be a really good long-term approach. That's something I've always done with jealousy in general. Jealousy is so something I could make a video on. One main point I want to make in this video, which is so important to me, is not that comparing is an unhealthy thing. Comparing is a good way to grow, but I think it's a good idea to mainly focus on comparing yourself now to your old self. If you compare yourself to where you used to be, even if you were disappointed because you were better, at least it's a realistic goal. You can get back to that point. Or it could be the opposite, where you look at how far you've come and you're like, wow, that's amazing. And then you feel proud of yourself. Comparing yourself to other people can be good in small doses. It can motivate you, or it can put you in a state where you think, okay, I should make a change. But when it becomes a really frequent thinking pattern, it is so not good. I would be very happy to make a video about like comparing and comparisons and like how toxic it is and how you can work on it. For those of you who have Facebook, I actually think it's a really interesting tool using the on this day section. I feel like sometimes it can make you feel a little bit sad if your life was in a better place then, or maybe you looked better. It could be something as simple as that. But looking at it, you can think, all right, how can I try to get back to a place like that if it's something that's important to you? And also, obviously, if you're looking back at on these days and they're negative things and you know you're no longer in that place in your life, it is such a good confidence boost. So I really recommend checking those every day. I'm so addicted. If I stay up past midnight, which is pretty much every single night, I always check like straight away. Please tell your friends when you're proud of them. I know it sounds a little scary sometimes because it can feel a little cheesy, but it seriously is so important. If you guys can think back to a time where someone told you that they were proud of you, I feel like that feeling sticks with you for so long, and the fact that your words can cause someone to feel that way, it's the coolest thing. So next time you feel proud of a friend, please tell them. I feel like often people say they're proud of people to other people, but not to the actual person, which is so silly because it's only a positive thing hearing that. I feel like the friendships I have in my life where I can express that I'm proud of them and they can express that they're proud of me mean so much more to me because you just have such a good support system and they just like boost your confidence constantly. And the people who are watching this in my life who do this, thank you so much. I have so much love for you. To end this video, I'm going to name a few things I'm proud of myself for, and I would like for you guys to comment in the comments below a few things you're proud of yourself for doing recently. Hearing people talk positively about themselves is like my favorite thing ever. It's like the best thing to hear and it's so good for everyone involved. The first thing I'm proud of myself for is probably what I'm going through right now. I'm proud of myself for going through this rough patch and handling it in a way that I've really taken care of myself, and I feel like I've been good at keeping myself positive, so I'm proud of myself for that. The second thing I'm proud of is the videos I've been making recently. I actually feel really good about my vlogs ever since I've switched to camera-based footage. I feel so excited every time I'm editing. Having this level of quality of vlogs is just something I've wanted for so long. So knowing I'm heading in that direction is just the best feeling. So I'm proud of myself for that. The third thing is something completely random and it's a bit smaller. It's how I've been handling my schedule recently. I recently came up with a really good way to schedule my life and it works so well. If you guys are interested in seeing like an organizational schedule video, I would love for you to let me know because I would be very happy to do that. I'm really proud of myself for like using this system and it being really effective. I feel like now when I'm told about something else in my schedule, I have no panic at all. I just see where I can slide it in or if I can move things, and it just works so well. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this video and watching it all. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy it, remember to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments which video ideas I mentioned in here that you'll be interested in me talking about. And if you have any ideas about absolutely anything, don't be shy. I am willing to talk about a lot on my channel, so just put the idea out there, and if I have an opinion on it or it's important to me, I will definitely be making it. I really want my videos to start heading in more of a direction like this. I will always include some like fashion and beauty because I do enjoy that. I really do want to start making videos that are a lot more important to me and that I can really talk about from a passionate place. Also, I don't know where all of you guys are coming from, but I've noticed a bit of a flood of subscribers recently, which I'm very surprised about because I have not been uploading very frequently. So welcome new people. Thank you so much for subscribing and let's keep heading towards our next goal. Right now at this moment, I know I'm only 30 subscribers away from 1,900, which is absolutely crazy. So thank you so much to everyone who subscribed. And if you haven't already and you'd like to see more of my videos, remember to click that subscribe button below. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. Thanks heaps for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.